Okay, on X-Play!
Make our way over here. Use the ice key. Use the ice key. Use the ice key. And this should open the door. Poop Fart is my favorite band. Don't go snooping on my PC. The computer's unlocked. Alright, there we go. Oh, that's not right. What if I go over here? Nope, I'm still... Oh, that was actually the correct one. You know, so if they're like, oh, is it 465? Oh, that's not right. So let's put out the fires. You have extinguished the fire. Hi everyone, today I'm going to show you how to make 5 interesting puzzles for your RPG Maker game. So I did a whole video about how to do number and letter passwords and codes to unlock things, but what's really important is how the player gets those numbers or passwords, and that's where it's going to be up to you to come up with some cool stuff. But just as an example, you can put different things around a room. Let's say you have a 3 code safe. So we're going to set this safe code to 3 digits and we'll say 456. Now that alone isn't very interesting. If your character just finds a piece of paper that says 456 on it, that's not really a puzzle. That's kind of more like a find the thing to open the thing, and that's not that interesting. But let's say here you put an event and it says there's a 4 etched into the wall. Now here's something you can do that's really cool. See how if you hover over it you see all this? Here's a cool thing you can do, especially if you're using MZ. Unfortunately this doesn't work in other versions. This does. So \C, and \ is right next to the enter key above the shift key. I know it's kind of hard to find. And then you do brackets. And now you can enter a number here, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, or if you're using MZ, if you right click, go to insert color index, and whatever color you pick from here, it will change the text to that color. So let's say, I don't know, green. Now everything after this is going to be green, so we only want the 4 to be green. So again, \C, I think it's 0, but just to be safe, 0, yeah. So now there's a green 4 etched into the wall. This is a great way to let your player know that whatever they're looking at is important. It's a clue, it's a hint. It's just a little way to spice things up. So if we copy that and then move it, like, I don't know, over here in the corner, there's a 5 etched into the wall. And then, I don't know, next to the safe there could be another one. There's a 6. Now what's cool about this is the player can go and examine them and say like, oh, there's a 5, ooh, oh, there's a 6, and hey, there's a 4 over here. Okay, I know that this safe needs 3 digits. I don't know what they are. Now the player has all 3 digits, but they still have to figure out what order to do them. You know, so if they're like, oh, is it 465? Oh, that's not right. What about 456? Oh, I did it. That gives the player that satisfaction of like, oh, I figured it out. I'm so smart. And that's what you want your players to do. Now, that's just a really simple example of how to come up with stuff. You can come up with so many different ways to do things, but I hope that helps with that, whether your puzzle is numbers or letters. And just very quickly, so let's say the computer's password is poop fart. And then we'll create an NPC. Let's witch girl. And she says, poop fart is my favorite band. We'll give her a little picture. And then she'll say, don't go snooping on my PC. Now the last thing we're gonna do is make sure to keep the caps sensitivity in check. Insert color index, green. Now, Poop Fart is my favorite band. Again, this lets players know, hey, that's relevant. There's a lot of different ways you can give hints, but I find that that one is the best way to get a player's attention, because I'll say, hey, what? Although, make sure that whatever text this is in is able to be seen more than once, because if it's a one-time thing and the player misses it, they're not going to know what to do. So I don't know the combination to the computer or the password. Poop Fart is my favorite band. Don't go snooping on my PC. That is a double hint. It's like, oh, the PC is related to this girl, and she said that. I'll just use my mouse because it's faster. The computer's unlocked. All right, there we go. And again, I did do a whole separate tutorial video on how to do alphabetical passwords, so there you go. Next, we're going to do what I call looping paths. I don't know what the correct terminology is for that, but this is an old mechanic that was in games back in my day, because I'm an old grandpa millennial, but it's very simple. So we see here we got path loop 1, 2, 3. They look identical. I just put this here mainly so that I know where I'm going, but it's good to have some sort of variation so the player knows the difference. And essentially what this is the player has to choose one of these paths, and if they choose the wrong path, they start way back at the beginning, but if they choose the right path, they continue onward. It's a very simple puzzle. It's just a little bit of gameplay variety. So just to keep this simple, we're gonna say transfer player, and let's say this is the wrong one. They're gonna come back here and they're gonna face up. And this is great because you can reuse this for all the wrong answers. So let's say, even though this looks like you can go through here, that's also the wrong answer. The player will go back there. We're going to go to map 2. This is wrong. This is wrong. And map 3. This is wrong. And this is wrong. Now, going back to loop 1, we're going to event here, transfer player. Now this is the correct one, so we're going to go to path 2 and put the player here, facing up. Now in path 2, here we go again. Transfer player to path 3, facing up. And that's as far as they're going to go because there's only 3 paths. But just to show how this works, gonna set the player start there and let's go for it. Okay, so I'm gonna go here. Whoops. Oh, that's not right. What if I go over here? Nope, I'm still, oh, that was actually the correct one. But if I try to go through here, I can't remember which one was the right one. There you go. So I chose the right ones, but if I go to the wrong way, back at the beginning. So you see, it's just like and you can do this for much more detail or whatever. So that was right, and then this one's right. And there you go. Just a little fun thing you can do, and you can add a lot more to that. Like maybe you have to do something before you can move on to the next area. So each room has like a little mini puzzle that you have to solve before you continue onward. To me, that's a very interesting puzzle. Okay, so next I've set up this little room where we're going to have to unlock a door, but the door requires 4 keys to open. So first we're going to just create a door. There you go, that looks pretty cool. And we'll just leave that for now. So there's the door. So each one of these pillars is going to require a different key. Now, the way that this works is we're going to use a variable. So just the base door, we're going to copy and paste the event page. So now if the variable, we'll just pick one and say 4-key door. Okay. So if the variable 4-key door is equal to or greater than 4, which is fine as long as it's equal to 4, then it's going to, make sure auto run. Let's play a sound effect. There we go. So, and then we're going to set movement route of this event. Gonna wait 30 frames, turn left, wait 30 frames, turn right, wait 30 frames, turn up. And then we're going to activate self switch to A, and just, that's it. Well, actually, make sure that variable is still carried over. So 4-key door equals 4 and self switch A is on. That way the door will just stay in the open state and you don't have to do anything. All right, so now we need 4 keys. So we're going to go up to our database, go to items and specialty items, sure. Ice key. You can pick your little icon. Let's see if we got something cool and icy looking. Okay, we'll just do this little snowflake icon since it's an ice key. So we're going to set this to key item, consumable no, and then set it to never. And okay. Okay, so when you examine this, change item, and then we're going to ice key, add 1. And just so that we see that we're actually doing something, you got an ice key. Now normally you would spread these keys out, make the player work for them and find them, but for this example we're just going to put all the keys right here. So your character can go and pick up these 4 keys. That's great, but they need to use them. So that's where we're going to do this. First, we want the game to check if the player has the ice key. So conditional branch and item, ice key. So we'll say use the ice key. And again, this will only appear if they have the ice key, and then you can say yes. And then you just put a sound effect of, I don't know, using a key, if we even have that. Cool. All right. You used the ice key. Now, be sure to remove the ice key from their inventory because otherwise they'll be able to use it on all the doors. So decrease ice key by 1. Okay. Now the last thing, we're going to set this to self switch A. Make a new page, self switch A. That way they use the key once, it's activated, and that's it. Oh, and I just forgot the most important thing. Let's say right before change items, control variable, and this is where you're going to get the 4-key door, and you're going to add 1. So remember I told you the variable for this door needs to equal 4 or more. Putting 1 key, that's now 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the door will automatically open. And here's the best part. You can just take this event and copy and paste it. And that is literally it. So let's test this out. All right, first, okay, the door is locked. Can't interact there. That's where you could put something like, I need a key to open this or something. You got an ice key. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's check our inventory to make sure. Key item, there we go, ice key. Wait, do I have more than one? Let's find out. Use the ice key. Okay, let me check that real quick. Okay, so it doesn't look like key items stack So maybe for this, it'd be better to do different types of keys. So let's say maybe a fire, ice, water, and wind key or something. But just keep that in mind. You could also just make them regular items and then they'll stack. So that's something just to keep in mind. But again, you guys are smart. You can figure it out. This is just like the basics. So anyway, let's make sure that this works. 1, 2, 3, 4. Make our way over here. Use the ice key. Use the ice key. Use the ice key. And this should open the door. Wow, we did it, guys. Da 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 da. Super fun. Yeah, so that's how you open a key with, or open a door with 4 keys. Oh my god, I'm so hungry. I need to eat. Now, the last interesting quote-unquote puzzle is simply using items in interesting ways. So instead of just using a key on a door, how about this? How about there's a fire that you need to get past and you got to use a fire extinguisher to do it? Now that's interesting, right? So let me show you how to do that. First, we're going to add, there's got to be a fire extinguisher. Boom. Okay, fire extinguisher. If the player interacts with it, oh, hold on. First, we got to make the item. I forgot. So under the ice key, you'll say fire extinguisher. And I doubt there's an icon for this, so there we go, a water icon. Whatever. Regular item, key item, consumable, no. Always make things non-consumable because you can like use them like a potion and it's essentially like the character eats the key and then you can never use it again. Okay. So when you examine, take the fire extinguisher. I'm gonna add choices. Yes. You took the fire extinguisher. And then we're going to change items, increase fire extinguisher by 1, and then set self switch to A. The reason for that is we want this extinguisher to visually disappear when we take it. So you're going to do a new event page, self switch A. That's it. You don't got to do anything else. So that's how you get your extinguisher. Now, how do we make a fire? All right, so let's make a fire. So we're going to double click here. Going to go down to flame and I don't know. We'll do this one, whatever. Okay, so let's say you don't have the fire extinguisher and you examine it. The fire is too hot to pass. Maybe I can use something to put it out. That way you're hinting to the player there is a way past this, you just have to find the right item. Player communication is very important. So that will happen every time the player examines the fire, but let's do a new event page, select the fire again, and if the player has the item fire extinguisher, put out the fire, and we'll say yes. So just very simple because you don't need to animate all this. Just fade out the screen, play the sound of putting out a fire, whatever. Oh God, what sound would that be? All right, we'll just go with that sound. So it's gonna fade to black. You're gonna hear the sound of that, and then it's gonna say, you have extinguished the fire. Okay, and now it's going to, let's see, we're going to say self switch A, make a new page, self switch A. The fire's gone, you cannot interact with it anymore, that's it. Before we do that, fade in, always remember to fade in. And there we go. Now here's the best part. You can take this fire and copy and paste it everywhere that you want it to be. And because you're not telling it to use up the fire extinguisher, it will stay in your player's inventory. So I haven't tested this, but this should work. All right, so we got fires burning. We try to pass them. The fire's too hot to pass. Maybe I can use something to put it out. And they're all going to say that because they're the same thing. Maybe this the extinguisher. Why can't I take this extinguisher? Oh, the extinguisher is actually on the wall where I can't walk. So keep that in mind. What the hell? All right, for some reason this is blocking me, so I'm gonna say through. There we go. Okay, so keep your collisions in mind because that was stupid. Take the fire extinguisher, yes. You took the fire extinguisher. Okay, now if I check my inventory, fire extinguisher, awesome. So let's put out the fires. You have extinguished the fire. Okay, so the only thing I'm noticing is you see the fire for like half a second before you're supposed to, like, it's supposed to already be out. Now an easy fix for that, we're going to delete all these because they all use the same events. Fade in the screen after self switch. I don't know if that will work, but let's see. I'm leaving all these mistakes in so that if you run into them, you know how to fix them. There we go. Easy peasy. So that you could do a whole firefighter game out of like mechanics like that, but it could be use the hammer to break certain types of glass, or I don't know, like fill a hole so you can walk over it. There's so many different things you can do. And those are 5 interesting puzzles for your RPG Maker game. I hope those are some good ideas to get you started. I hope they weren't too complicated, and I hope I didn't go too fast. But thanks for watching, and if you have any other suggestions or requests for tutorials, please let me know down in the comments, and I will do my best. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.